Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I will be ranking down the entirety of 2025. Oh my god, who would have thought that the moment would finally be here? The year only has been going on for 7 days, but we have already arrived to the best moment of the year by far. Nothing will top this very special video because today I will be ranking down the entirety of movies that I have seen in 2025. Not all films I have seen in 2025, because then we will be here for literally hours, because I watched a total of 12 films in 2025, but 300 of those were 2025 releases. And it's those 300 films that I will be ranking down in this video. Before we go into it, I will try not to talk for more than a minute about each film. Even hopefully a lot less than that, so we will not be here for 6 hours straight. I hope this video will eventually end up being around 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, which is something in the lines of what I've done previous years when I did this challenge some way. So well, you can see by the length of this video if I succeeded on that front, so I will not give you any reviews on those films. I will just tell you in a very short way why this film is on this place in the list, on this ranking from 300 going to 1. Because of course I have made reviews about all of these films already, so if you want to have my thoughts on it, then you can find them in my reviews if you want to see them. I will not have all 300 reviews linked down below. I mean, that YouTube will hate me if I do that, but you can find them all on my channel. I have a very dedicated playlist called 2025 Ranked, or a look at 2025. With that being said, I already talked about the bottom 10, the top 10, and also about my most anticipated list of 2026. So if you want to know more about what I am looking forward to the next year, or this year actually, then just be aware that you can already see that on this channel. I uploaded all of these videos this week, so just go to my channel or look at the eyes above me right there. That's where I will put it, and I will have all those videos linked in there. With that being said, I have nothing more to add. Please give me your total lists of films. Give me all of the 300 films you have seen. How many movies did you have you seen last year? I mean, did you get close to my 300 in your ranking? Or do you have a lot less? Or maybe even a lot more? Apart from that, for the next year, I have something that I wanted to say to myself a lot already, because I have seen way too many films. I was sick. I almost died. I talked about that one last week as well, when I was reviewing my year in total, and I have seen way too many movies. With that being said, I will watch less movies this year, because Jesus Christ, I watched way too much. I will still watch every big cinema release. I will watch smaller cinema releases from movies that I am genuinely interested in, and I will only choose the streaming films that are genuinely really big and everyone is watching, and maybe some of the films that just take my attention. I will not just watch anything for the sake of having a review, which I did this year, because Jesus Christ, that takes up a lot of time. So with that being said, let's get straight into the ranking, and let's get straight from 300 to 1 as fast as we possibly can. Alright, take your popcorn, take your food, and let's enjoy this ride together. Let's get straight into it. And at number 300 we have War of the Worlds. I mean, the entire internet talked about this one already. It's a genuinely really fucked up film that should have never been made. The film was made in COVID, is what they said was the reason that this was all so shit, but if we can be sure about that, maybe you shouldn't even have made this film. So there's that. War of the Worlds, fuck you. Dave Bautista was not on a good track record this year, and Afterburn proves that. It's a film with him in the headlines. I can't even remember what this one was about. It was genuinely just really fucking bad. 298 is an animated movie about sneakers. There's nothing more I can say about this. Okay, there's one more thing I can say about this. This is the reason that I just said I will not watch just anything for the sake of anything. So this is one of those reasons that I will not do that to myself again. Hi, what's that? It's another Dave Bautista film, and this one is made by Mila Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson. And can we please take away the rights of filming for these two? Because this is helping no one. I think I have never seen a great Paul W.S. Anderson film, especially when he puts his wife Mila Jovovich in it. If I can say one thing for sure, then it's probably going to be that we can just never make another Smurfs movie, because these Belgian little blue creatures are really awesome in their own series that aired in Belgium, but in the movie business and in Hollywood, they clearly don't know what the fuck to do with them, and this thing made me angry. It made me physically angry. Star Trek Section 31 is a movie about Star Trek. I think this was a sequel movie to Star Trek Discovery, but I am not even sure about that. It was a sequel to one of the series, and Michelle Yeoh is in this. Do with it what you want. Another film that made me physically angry was The Monkey, and I don't even know why this one made me so angry. I hated the acting, I hated the everything else, and I hated the monkey itself. I don't know why, I just really hated this film. Another film that is part of the reason why I will just not watch everything for the sake of everything, and it's Popeye's Revenge. It's one of those public domain horror films that we will see a lot about, especially in the first 15 minutes of this video. It's a Popeye film. It's horror. They gave Popeye a fucking mask. A mask. And it looks ugly. There's one good thing about The Strangers Chapter 2, which is that the third one is already coming in a month, so we won't have to wait long to the end of this fuckfest, and we can move on from that. This was just a 90-minute chase movie where they tried to humanize the bad guys that are the strangers for a fucking reason, and there was a boar fight that took up 5 to 10 minutes. G20, a film about the president and a lot of world leaders, and they all use guns, and the Secret Service can't do anything, but the president presumably can. Oh, and Anthony Starr is in this. Homelander is in this. The Dutch have never been the best at making films, especially not comedy movies, and when an actor decides to make a movie and decides to try out the director's chair, you could have foreseen something, but I do love the actor, but please never direct a movie anymore, because this... I mean, we stopped being funny in the comedies. Oh, what fun is talking about everything but the movie, because this film was not fun. I was bored out of my ass, and if I had some Christmas spirit left, it left my body. Also, for some fucking reason, this fuckfest has a huge cast. It was insane. What the fuck were they all doing in here? How big was that cash grab? The title of this film says everything on why I watched this film. Sadly enough, it was not a pornography. I mean, I didn't even want that. I wanted a sex art house film, but this one is just talking about sex. And it's a lot of talking. It's 2 hours of straight up talking, and the conversation is boring as shit. Ever since RRR, I became a lover of Indian cinema, and this one is a movie I wanted to try out because I thought this one could be amazing, and the scores for it were bad, and I should have listened because this was boring as bullshit. Havoc is a Netflix film starring Tom Hardy. That's literally everything I remember from this film. Literally. I mean, at least the critics loved this one. I thought it was boring. I still think Pamela Anderson was really good in this. But the rest of the film, the story, the acting, the everything, it just bored me out of my mind. I didn't love this. I actually hated it. I didn't like this. This wasn't it. Zombie Town holds everything a movie like this could have been, but shows up with nothing for it. I mean, Dan Aykroyd is in this thing, we know from Ghostbusters, and he is kind of fun. But what we ended up with was just 2 main characters that did not act beforehand or do a very bad job at it. And they have no chemistry, and nothing works, and they completely fuck up this film. It's all the fault of the 2 main actors. Okay, in their defense, the script was atrocious, but they couldn't do anything with it. I mean, if you can give a bad script to good actors, they can make something out of it. This was an awful script given to bad actors who who thought they were doing something magical over here. The Alto Knights might get Oscar nominations for its costume department and its hairstyling and makeup and maybe even cinematography. It's all deserved, but the rest of this film, the important parts of this film, are awful, are really boring and not good plane food. I saw this on the plane to America. That was fun. Another simple favor holds anything but a question that I wanted to ask for you. Please, don't give me any other favors. The first one was okay, wasn't my cup of tea, but hey, you know, it's okay. What the fuck were they doing with this one? I don't even get it. American Meltdown is not the film you expect it to be, especially not because of this poster. This poster is doing a lot of weird stuff. The film is doing even weirder stuff. They also just invented a genre for this one because they don't call this a coming of age film, but a coming of rage film. And that is at least right, because I got rageful of this. I know a lot of people love Hedda, and I know Hedda is one of these oldest stories that is out there. It's from 1890 or one of the first plays ever. And I like an adaptation of that. I was truly interested in this, but it's just plain boring. And I was bored out of my ass. Before we go further, if I fuck up with these two things where I continuously switch between the film, I'm very sorry. No, I'm not. This is these are loads of films. I mean, come on. Give me some slack here. The second one of these public domain films. This one is about Mickey Mouse. I actually really like this one. Up until the ending, and the acting was atrocious. But most of the ending, what the fuck was up with that? I hated this one, but I will review its sequel this year probably, because we have a sequel coming out called Mickey. Welcome to the Mickeyverse. Oh, no. I'm gonna give it to the film. Rosario was better than I expected it was going to be. Still, the movie wasn't that great. It was weird. It could have been a lot better, but the story just didn't make any sense to me, and David Dastmalchian did a fun job at this. I mean, I think he was fighting with the toaster. That was fun. I really like Sadie Sink and whatever she does with acting. I am really interested in seeing her in Spider-Man Brand New Day. But this movie wasn't it. It just wasn't it. It was boring. But at least it had fun music. Fear Street Prom Queen is a film that should have never been made. I loved the first three, and when the first three were done, I was actively telling everyone on my reviews, like, I wanted more from this franchise. I wanted more Fear Street. I saw this film, and I said sorry for that. And now I don't want it anymore. Take it back. Go away. The Legend of Ochi is from the studio A24, so naturally I was looking forward to this, because I do always think A24 makes great films. Turns out they don't. This one was boring. This also stars the girl, Helena Zengel from Systemsprenger, that I really loved. At least her acting was good, but what the fuck was the rest of the film? Love hurts, and so does the placement of this film in the ranking, because I love Ki Hee Kwan, and Ki Hee Kwan did nothing wrong in this film. It's just the story is boring, everything else is as well, and Ki Hee Kwan did not get a good script to work with. At least we do not blame Ki Hee Kwan, he is awesome. Riff Raff! Don't remember it. It came out around the same time as Fantastic Four did, Thunderbolts did, which was really fun because, well, Lewis Pullman was in that one as well. So, I had two films with him. It also stars Pete Davidson. Now I'll look at the poster, so I totally forgot about that. The Ritual was not as bad as I expected it was going to be, but it was still pretty fucking bad. At least it was better than I expected it to be. It stars Al Pacino, which is sad and great in the same way, because I love seeing Al Pacino. It was sad that it wasn't this. Ziam is a zombie film on Netflix. That's about everything I remember for it. I mean, I did like the ending. No, I didn't like it. I liked most parts of the film, but the ending absolutely butchered it. That was the one. Yeah, I remember now. The ending butchered this film. And here we have the second film from Osgood Perkins this year. I mean, I didn't love The Monkey, as I said very clearly already. But Keeper, with Tatiana Maslany as well, they also did not do any favors. What the fuck, man? This was boring shit. At least it had interesting things going on sometimes. And I did like the creature design in the end. Popeye the Slayer Man is the other Popeye public domain film, and this one is already getting spin-offs and sequels. Will I watch those? Probably. After The Hunt is Luca Guadagnino's new film, and I think he also made Queer this year. We'll see about that film, but this one? That was kind of boring. It had good acting. It also had Andrew Garfield. Ayo Edebiri was good. There's that. We are going strong with these public domain films, and part of the Pooniverse is Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. This was going back to formula. Sadly enough, it was the formula for Blue Blood and Honey 1 and not the second one. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Road Trip is a very meh, very uninteresting and very mediocre film about Alexander who goes on a probably bad road trip. Straatcoaches versus Aliens for the Dutch Under Us, or I think the English title is Coaches versus Aliens or Coaches Out of Space or something like that. I don't remember the English title. It was a fun film. It's about all of these aliens that are infiltrating the world, and especially Rotterdam. And they fight it. The street coaches fight them. I mean, this one was fun. I had fun with this. This was fun bad. This was a fun, bad film. Brightheart is something of the same. It's not that good. And it's not that awful either. It's just... It's really It's more than good. It's more than... So... I still like seeing Rebel Wilson though. Rebel Wilson is actually really nice. Sorry for the poster, couldn't find a better one, but Happy Gilmore 2 is on this list. Obviously, because I'm reviewing all of the films. So, Happy Gilmore 2, lots of cameos, and it looks like they all had fun making this film, and that's everything I can say about this. You can see that they had fun, but the rest of the film isn't that good. This one hurts me so much, but I hated the second SpongeBob movie this year. SpongeBob, the only theatrical movie of this year. SpongeBob, The Search for SquarePants, and The Search for My Sanity, because there were things in this film that absolutely annoyed the living shit out of me. Granted, I did enjoy a lot of this, but there were things that I was getting annoyed about that took all of the lights, because Jesus Christ, the fucking things, the freckles that SpongeBob had, not the big holes, but the smaller holes that they edited for this film only, they started glitching. It was ugly. Oh my god. And the story is very, very, very TikTok induced, because Jesus Christ was getting headaches after a while. We are still not done with the public domain films, because Screamboat is on the list. This one I did see in a movie theater. That made it better, I guess. I mean, this one at least was a lot of fun, but they're also making a sequel to this one. And oh boy, we're getting there. The next one is gonna have Minnie Mouse. I have to be honest, I really looked forward to Playdate. I thought this was going to be a very fun film. Sadly enough, it wasn't. It wasn't awful either, but the story of this completely butchered the experience. The humor was there sometimes. The story was absolute dog shit in its second half. One of the first films of the year I saw, and also one of the most boring ones, but there were a lot of good things that held this one up, like the acting and the characters that I really liked, but it was just a bit boring and I was bored out of my ass, but hey, I enjoyed looking at it. There it is, Queer. Yep. Luca Guadagnino. At least Daniel Craig is fun in this film, and Daniel Craig loved making this film. You can see that in the film, but I didn't love it myself. I had a little bit of fun with it. Just a little bit. Mr. K is a Belgian co-production starring Crispin Glover, who we all know from Back to the Future. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna watch it. A lot of Belgian actors with Crispin Glover from Back to the Future. I think that is really awesome. The film wasn't that awesome, but hey, here we are. At least I had fun with this, and the ideas presented were kind of interesting. Are you starting to notice how I slowly get a little bit more positive with every film? I try to make it as a smooth line of positivity towards the end. So here we are, and I'm doing my best. William Tell is a film about William Tell. The acting was kind of okay. The presumed sequel they were going to make? Why? This could have been a perfectly close story, and it ruined the ending of this one. But I had fun with this. I really had. Almost Cops, or better known as Bad Boas, is another Dutch film that kind of had some comedy left in it. It was funny for a while. I had a few giggles with this one, so this one gets a pass for being passable. Hot milk certainly doesn't do anything wrong, it just does everything in such a bland and mediocre way that you don't recognize this film as being great. It's just, it exists. And there's something to say about that. Oh my god, another Dutch comedy. Well, here we have it. This one is made by the creators from Master Movies. If you don't know what Master Movies is, they kind of make Dutch voiceovers to famous works like Harry Potter and Star Wars, and they do it in the most fucked up way possible, and it's really funny. It was... Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Am I dying? Okay, I shall stop talking about this film. What the fuck? Jingle Bell Heist had all of the ingredients to become a great Christmas film that gave you the Christmas spirit, but sadly enough it didn't notice that all of those ingredients were expired, and this one ended up being very bland. I think my light needs replacing. Huh. Brick is a German Netflix film about a brick that suddenly appeared in the side of an apartment, and this one? It's fun. I had fun with this. It was interesting. It did went on for too long, but at least I had fun with this. This is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so you're not gonna believe this, but in a matter of a few, probably a lot of minutes, when we arrive at place 210, I will review a film called Flight Risk, because I made this video and then I found out that I forgot to add a movie to the list, so I added that one in an extra special little in-between video, and then I was making another video that already came online, my Letterboxd year-end review, and I found out that I missed yet another film, which is this one. So this is the place where this film would have been standing if I didn't originally forget it in my rankings. So 251 is the beautiful place for this film, and I ultimately ended up having 302 films in this ranking. So I'm an idiot, but this film is right here because it was boring and I didn't like the story, and I hated that they recast everyone from that Lost City of Gold film, which I actually really liked. So, yeah. Another addition to the list that I originally intended. Yeah, I can definitely say there will not be other films, because I checked my entire diary of 500 films just to know if I forgot any other films. But no, this is it. This is the last film. This one should be here, and that is it. There should not be any other films. So 302 in total. You will see me give you this exact same story that I forgot a film and a reason why I forgot that film when we get to place 210, where we will get another film. All right, thank you, and enjoy the rest of the video as well, when we will do the rest as intended. I'm an idiot. I don't even remember what this one was called. Was it called Fixed? I think it was just Fixed. Okay, yeah. This might be the poster that will get my channel away from being existent. But yeah. Fixed. My light is really fucked up. Jesus Christ, what the fuck do you have? I mean, I will stop talking about shit films. This one had fun animation, but the rest of the story was... Ugh. Ice Road Vengeance is not as bad as I expected the film to be, but it wasn't as fun as the Ice Road one was either. The Ice Road did not need a sequel, but here we are, here we have it. It could have been worse, it absolutely wasn't, so yay, that's a win for us all, right? Apart from the fact that no one on Earth heard from this film. Am I right about that? Bonhoeffer, Past the Spy Assassin, is a war film. That was boring. It had good acting. I enjoyed watching the film when I was watching it. I thought it was boring when I was watching it. And I kind of forgot everything about it. Everything. Just everything. The same thing goes for Alpha. I liked watching this film, but sadly right now I don't remember anything of it, and I also thought this one was a pretty bit boring after a while. Oh, I do remember what this one was about, and I felt sorry for the main character, but I couldn't care after a while. The Soundman, or Radioman in Dutch, is a film about the beauty of radio during war times and the beauty of sound during war times. It had awesome visuals, it absolutely looked stunning and had some great VFX that a friend of mine, by the way, made. But the rest of the film, the story being provided and everything else around it, it was a little bit boring. But the visuals were nice enough and I was interested for most of the film. Lego Avengers Strange Tales is short, which is the best thing about this. It's not even an hour long. It has the Avengers and it has kittens and it's from Lego and it's for children. And I clearly was not the target audience because this was... I had fun with it. Hawkeye being the lead was fun for a while. For once, actually. Oh my god, what do we have here? Another public domain film. Bambi the Reckoning is the Bambi horror film from the Ponyverse. I had fun with this one. It's not great, but I had fun. And the creature design on Bambi was very decent. Absolutely very decent. Granted, Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Last Straw was not as atrocious as I expected it to be. I expected to hate this one up until everything that happened in it, but the ending was kind of nice and I also could like the first 17 minutes. It was everything in between that just didn't work. Hell of a Summer is a directorial debut from Finn Wolfhard that we now all know and love from Stranger Things and the It films, but the director's chair, he has some potential in there. The direction of this absolutely isn't the worst thing about it. It's just that the story is a little bit boring. The kills aren't really that interesting and the film doesn't stand out on anything. It's mediocre on almost everything. That came out very wrong, but it was just a bunch of meh. It's a bunch of meh with a potentially good future for Finn Wolfhard. The Pickup stars Pete Davidson, Keke Palmer, and also Eddie Murphy, who we know from Shrek as Donkey. And the film is fun. And the first third of the film was really good. After that, the film became boring pretty fast. Victoria Moet Dood, or Victoria Must Die, was a really fun Danish film. Sadly enough, I did see the dubbed version of this, so I can't truly rank this one. But it was fun until it wasn't. It was fun for a while. The ending didn't do it for me. Night Always Comes is a film I certainly dug when I was watching it, but afterwards I kind of forgot everything about it. It was a very stressful night and Vanessa Kirby was really good in this, but that's about everything I remember from it. Take everything I said about Night Always Comes and paste it onto this one and add Keira Knightley to the mix, because this truly felt like the last film, Night Always Comes, but then on a sea setting with a murder mystery happening. The murder mystery definitely was interesting enough. The Man in My Basement had a really interesting role for Willem Dafoe. The rest of the film happened. Play Dirty had a really interesting role for Lakeith Steinfeld and for Mark Wahlberg. The rest of the film happened. The Twits had a really interesting... Okay, the animation for this one was actually kind of okay, but the marketing for this film started 1 week before the release, and the rest of the film happened. I'll stop with that. Okay, no, one more time, because of movies that I kind of forgot what they were about. Ballad of a Small Player, Colin Farrell. Might be some Oscar notch for this. The rest of the film happened. Started out really interesting, but lost itself really fast. My Anaconda Don't Want None Unless You Got Buns, Hun, because this film could have been something very beautiful if it only was a little bit funny. There were some giggles after a while, but for a comedy that falls on its comedy, which is bad, then you will not have a good time with the film itself. Another film I can barely remember, but I do remember liking this one beforehand, and I kind of liked this one as well. It's not anything groundbreaking, it's something that is in some ways very, very, very generic, but I did like it, I just didn't memorize it. Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires could have been a lot worse. I don't even blame myself for liking this one. I like musicals, and this one definitely had the worst music of the four, and I still don't like this entire franchise as a whole, but at least this one, it's not as bad as I expected it to be. It's still a bad film, but it was bad with a lot of enjoyment in it. Let me get comfortable for this. A Big Bold Beautiful Journey is a big, messy mix of things happening in a way. And The chemistry was non-existent between Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell, but I did like the story that they provided with it. It just went on a little too long, and there was nothing happening for a little too long as well. Team Spirit Next Gen is a Belgian sequel film about a group of football players. Not FC de Kampioenen, but another team of football players that also exists in a fictional world. I want to see Team Spirit versus the Kampioenen. Echo Valley stars Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney and was really interesting up until it wasn't anymore, and I was really on bar and on vibe with this until I wasn't in the second half. The first half of this was really good. I definitely enjoyed. The rest of the film happened. Malderar is another Belgian film about a case that they kind of don't want to name, but it's the Marc Dutroux case about a child predator. And they kind of never name him, but it's definitely based upon everything from him, because they kind of do tell you its entire story, apart from a good ending. And without ever mentioning his name. They have an alias for him in the film. I mean, the interesting nature of the film is definitely what saved it, because The Surfer could have been so great. It wasn't. But the style and vibe of this film kind of saved it. There were some things I liked about the film, but overall it was really mediocre and really meh. The same goes for The Witcher Sirens of the Deep. I haven't seen season 3, I haven't seen season 4, I haven't even seen season 2 of The Witcher, but I saw this adaptation, the animation was nice of it, but the rest of the story, in my opinion, just is a very, very, very bad parody on The Little Mermaid. I feel bad about not thinking this one was as bad as I hoped it was going to be when I watched it. I actually really enjoyed watching this film. It's not a great film, but I had a good time with Markman, Rule, and Shaw. Resurrection is a Chinese film about the most beautiful medium on earth. Movies. Resurrection is a Chinese film about one of the most beautiful mediums on earth, called movies. And the film itself had a lot of interesting styles, a lot of interesting vibes, but whenever the start of the film was done and they went to more traditional filmmaking, it kind of lost me. Freaky Tales has all of these little tales in front of it and presented to you, and I did like some of them, didn't like all of them, so this could have been better. The ones I liked, I definitely did like. The ones I disliked, I definitely disliked. All of these stories are connected, by the way. That is really cool. Tyler Perry made 2 films this year, Straw and this one. This one definitely is the lesser of the 2. We will talk about Straw, but you know, Medea's Destination Wedding, it had some fun moments, and I had fun with it, but the overall end product is taking up way too much of your time. Eeny Meeny is a film that came out at around the same time as Night Always Comes, and they also look like each other a lot. I mean, these films have comparisons. That's insane, actually. I kind of like this one more, by the way. I have never even seen Henry Danger the film or the movie. I just saw the film and I thought, no, that was pretty fun. You know what is also fun? The next film. Never mind, I don't remember what this one was about. It looked absolutely stunning. It was amazing what this film was doing on its visual department. Sadly enough, its style over substance thing kind of went way too far, as I lost all track of what this film was about. We all know the story about Rust. I didn't like the film because I don't like westerns, but well, Alec Baldwin was really good in the film. Also, rest in peace, Helena Hutchins. I know you did a phenomenal job on this one because I witnessed it, and the cinematography was kind of awesome. The rest of the film, eh. I'm not even ashamed about this one. It's a Dutch film from YouTubers, and I really liked those YouTubers back in the day, so of course I went to see it. We'll never do that again, by the way. Unless they are... Oh, wait, they are making a sequel to this film. I'm getting way too old to go to a children's film. Eddington is a new Ari Aster film, and this one was pretty fun for a while. I really liked the story between Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal. The rest of the film was more bland than I expected it to be, and it could have been better. It just was okay. It was okay. A Working Man is a film that I just genuinely can't get my head around which one is which. Is this one the beekeeper? Is this one a working man? Is this one the one where he was on the cliff or when he was hanging from the window, like the window washer or something? I have no idea, but it's this film and it's made and it's a film from the same director that also made Suicide Squad 1 and The Beekeeper that I just mentioned. So, okay. He has a next film coming out already, Shelter. Don't know if it's the same director, but it definitely is Statham. Aztec Batman Clash of Empires is an animation god tier of a film. The rest of the film is just a little bit more bland and a little bit more boring because they didn't do anything special for the time period that they were in. It's a very basic story that they tried for this one, and that's really sad. The Outrun, everyone loved. I thought it was okay. I thought it was boring, but I loved the acting within Saoirse Ronan, and I think that it's actually quite a decent film that I thought was a little bit boring, but also not really that boring. It's just more boring than other films on the list. I think this movie has reached a lot of your worst movies of the year's list, but for me personally, I expected to hate it a lot more because I had to wait a few days to watch it and I saw all of the comments coming online on what everyone was thinking about this film and it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. So, The Electric State, I think it was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't really like it. There definitely were some things that made me angry. But I had fun with this one. The Second Act is a French film that was very interesting, especially in the first half, especially with everything that happened and the big plot twist near the end of the film. That was genuinely one of the biggest plot twists in the movie that I absolutely didn't see coming. So congratulations to that film because my mouth fell open and I never felt so betrayed in my life. I have made a huge fucking mistake in my life because I was going over some other people's videos of the worst movies ever made or of this year. Thank you, Craig, not Craig, for showing me that this film existed because I watched this film as well this year, but I completely forgot to put this one in the 2025 rank. So I added it now, and that makes the grand total 301 films. You will see that I will still be talking about 300 films throughout the rest of the video because I recorded that and then a month later or a moment later I came to this conclusion and I looked at what place it would be. So this is the place where it would normally be. It is at place 210, but of course there will be another 210, but this one actually is a new 210, and for the rest the numbers will still all be correct, but every movie you've seen right now, you can add one number to that and then you will have what it took for me to do this. So yeah, Flight Risk, it stars Mark Wahlberg, it's about a plane and the flight risk, and my review for this film actually was Megberg, because it was so incredibly meh. It was so meh that I just genuinely forgot to put this one in the ranking, so Flight Risk. Yep, let's get on with the video. Another Ayo Edebiri film, and this one has music from the world's greatest artist, John Malkovich, only the music is really sucky. I mean, the American remake from High to Low, directed by Spike Lee, has to be great, right? It wasn't. It was bland, and after a while, I stopped seeing the resemblances with High to Low and Highest to Lowest, and I thought High to Low was a far more superior film than Highest to Lowest. Troll 2 is a very sad film because there was a lot of things that were great about the first one that I absolutely did like, that they just completely butchered into this one, and the rest of the story also didn't really make anything up for it, but at least I had more fun with this one than I had with other films on the list, so there's the pass for that one. It could have been so much better if it wasn't such a mediocre line or storyline that they did to do, and it was also really predictable. Killing Mary Sue had a first 40 minutes that I absolutely loved, and I was completely on board with this film. I thought it was genuinely amazing. Then the rest of the film happened and it kind of lost all of its sparks. In the end product, I disliked it, but whenever I was thinking about the film, I also was seeing the good parts of it, which is a really solid cinematography, or not cinematography, but a choreography between the fights. The horror film Him is a film that I was genuinely really excited about, but this one disappointed me a lot because this film was just blatantly bland and boring after a while, and I have seen much better in my life than this borefest. Another film that I didn't love as much as I wanted it to is Death of a Unicorn. The trailer looked nice, it has Jenna Ortega, it had a lot of things like Paul Rudd that I think are pretty awesome. The end product of this film just didn't really do it for me, and I wasn't completely on board with the creature design or anything else. VHS Halloween is another one of those films that came out and had a lot of short stories in it. I disliked more stories than I liked them, but the one that I did like, I liked a lot. So that's why the placement of the film is right here. Deep Cover is about method actors and it's really funny sometimes. It's also way too long and it gets going for way too long and has a plot twist it doesn't need. But the movie itself is really fun. The exact same thing goes for The Family Plan too. There were a lot of fun things in this one either. It's not the greatest film, but it's fun and that's also important. I know for a fact that this movie is up everyone's list of worst films of the year, but I have to say that I definitely had some things I enjoyed in this one. The end product isn't working out completely and the ending of the film is absolutely ruined the entire experience. There was 20 minutes added of pure nothing and Gal Gadot is existing, but it could have been worse in my opinion. Le Assaggiatrici or The Tasters is about a group of women who had to taste and pre-taste the food that Hitler was served. It's a really intense film. It does go on something too long and it could have been shorter, but I definitely felt tension for a lot of this film and the story is something that should have been told because wow. I mean, it is a retelling of something that wasn't clear if it is true, so there is some questionability about all of that, but at least the film was really interesting and was good enough. The Old Guard 2 was a film I absolutely ate. I really liked this one, but then the ending came and the ending absolutely ruined everything about this film. I even knocked almost on my microphone, but Jesus Christ, the ending of this film absolutely ruined the rest of it. Holy fucking shit, that was bad. But the rest of the film was good. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, is as big as a grand finale as it is interesting. It really wasn't. I mean, I love seeing this group of people together. I mean, it always feels like you're coming right at ease and right at home with this group of people, but it's a little bit boring, but at least I felt at home. Nah, as a matter of fact, it's just really fun seeing rich people have rich people problems, but the rest of the film, this one barely had a story. Chris Hemsworth, A Road Trip to Remember, is really good sometimes, but it's also really bad sometimes. It's really good on telling us what Alzheimer is and how it affects a family, but it's also really bad at all of the same things. This one is a mess, and I kind of wanted to have more of this. It just has two big situations where they go, and they are like, oh, you remember this? Okay. Poor choice of words, Sven. Poor choice of words. But point still stands. Could have been a lot more this one. Fight or Flight was fun, but also had some weird sequences happening, but at least I really liked some of it. I was bored other moments. The movie definitely is a little bit too long and has too much going on for it in a while, but I liked certain aspects of this and I liked most of it actually. I hate the fact I liked My Fault London because this film broke me, not in a good way, because I really liked the love story in this, and the love story in this one is very cute and really works. If they just had not chosen to make the two lovers step-siblings. Another one with relationship problems, and this one also stars a dog, and the dog is depressed, and after the film I was as well. I hated the film, but I also really liked it, and it has a dog, which is something that will always get me going. So hey, if you did not have the dog, I probably wouldn't have loved the movie. And the chemistry between Charlie Cox and Zooey Deschanel was non-present. Amsterdam 2 could have been something really great, but chose AI and a bonkers story that just wasn't as interesting, at least until a certain part of the film. I did like what they were doing with it. I liked how they renewed everything for making a sequel around 37 years after the first one. It's a legacy sequel from the Netherlands. It's also the first big IMAX Dutch film, which is also really nice. It was just they chose the wrong things for this film, and ending it like that was an atrocious idea that actually made me angry. Also, a big problem with this film I have is just the fact that this one tries to make everyone from the first film an absolute idiot. I almost cried when I came out of the movie theater not loving this film. I mean, the dog Indy, I still hope he gets an Oscar nomination or at least an achievement award, because Jesus, he is such a good boy in this. He is awesome. He's phenomenal. He's the best thing. The idea of this film is genuinely amazing. But when your story only consists of the dog looking into dark rooms and something might happen in the future, or something is happening in the background, you lose me. That was a little bit boring. A very Jonas Christmas film or a very Jonas Christmas movie is a Christmas film that had a little bit of Christmas spirit, but it also had the comeback of the Jonas Brothers, which I did really like. And next year we're gonna have Camp Rock 3. So that's gonna be really fun. It was nice seeing these guys again. I didn't even know they still existed, so good job. Everybody hates Honey Don't. I liked it for what it was. I thought it was funny. I thought it went on for a little bit too long, even though the runtime of this one is very short. And I thought the ending of this film was a little bit cliche, but I did enjoy it. BXL or Brussels is a film about two brothers that actually impacted me. It was really good for a while. It goes on for too long and it doesn't stay as interesting as you would hope it is going to be in the beginning of the film. And it's also really cliche, as we have seen a film like this a lot of times before, especially in Belgium. But it was good enough, and it was a very decent attempt to tackle some things like racism again. The Great Flood had an amazing beginning, but totally went off the rails in the second half and totally lost me because of that. Because what they tried to do with the second half of this film was just making it difficult for the sake of it being difficult, instead of being something worth telling and worthwhile. The message that they tried to convey, if they would have done it properly, would have been really fun. The Silent Hour starring Joel Kinnaman has a really fun vibe going at it, where he plays a deaf guy, or at least something with a hearing deficiency. And the thing that they wrote for this film is very cliche, but also really fun. So I had fun with this one. She Rides Shotgun just silently got dropped on Amazon Prime, and I think no one really knows about the existence of this film. I had fun with it. The child is amazing, Taron Egerton is really good, and the story provided is cliche, but there is a plot twist in the end that I absolutely did not see coming, and I applaud them for having the balls to do that. I forgot to add in a title for this one, but Wolfman is on this list. Of course it is, of course. Of course. So Wolfman, a mediocre film. Could have been a lot worse, wasn't the worst thing out there, but it also wasn't really that great either. It's supposed to be one of those films that is a part of a universe with the Invisible Man. You can see nothing in that, but if they do it, sure, I guess. Lulu is a Rhinoceros is a 40-minute special where you just think one thing. Oh, the music is nice. And this dog has a problem. Den of Thieves 2 Pantera is a really fun film, but it shows something so different from that first film that you feel like you had a whiplash watching this. At least it's fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's just a little bit too different than that first one was, which makes it a lot less fun as the first one. It really hurt me to the bone when I didn't love Mickey 17 from Bong Joon-ho as much as I did, because Jesus, this one, I was totally prepared to put this one in my top 10, but I just didn't love it as much. I liked it enough to think this was a solid film. I think Robert Pattinson is absolutely amazing in this, but I also annoyed the living shit out of myself with that Mark Ruffalo role, which was really sad because I do like Mark Ruffalo as well. The rest of the film had certain interesting things happening, but I expected it to be a lot better than it actually was, which was sad. Black Bag was really interesting because it felt art housey and it also felt like it had a lot going for it. And I didn't like some of the extra characters in this one, but there was a certain chemistry I did like, and Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender are really good in the film. It's just that I kind of wanted more from it, and I don't know exactly what it was anymore, or don't remember it, but just something with this I missed. Hurry Up Tomorrow also stars Jenna Ortega, but this one is just an advertisement for the weekend, and I liked the film for certain aspects. I thought it was interesting, but I also don't know what I exactly witnessed, but I was there for the entire ride. I never listened to The Weeknd after this film though, so I don't know if the advertisement part of this works, so I understand why this one gets awful reviews. The Accountant 2. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it, and that is also a good thing. And this one had some great chemistry moments between Jon Bernthal and Ben Affleck, which is definitely what kept this film up. The Salt Path is more mediocre than you want it to be because it's just a little bit too long in my opinion. It could have been something really great if it was shorter, but there is some genuinely great acting in this. It looks amazing, and the story provided is also really nice. There are some questions about the true essence of the story though, and if this actually happened for real, which it makes it sad because now you have that watching the film. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I expected to absolutely hate this film to the core, but I have to say that it was interesting enough to keep me interested for most of the film. I do think this one went on a little bit too long as well, and sometimes took itself a little bit too serious, but whenever this film was making fun of itself, then I really liked that. Miyazaki's Spirit of Nature is a documentary about Miyazaki films and about Studio Ghibli as a whole, and it's really interesting. It is a little bit too long, and it stays a little bit too much on the forefront of everything and doesn't dive deep into Miyazaki or everything that the man and Studio Ghibli did, but it's good enough. It's definitely good enough. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is a film about The Housemaid. It's basically Disney's other version of The Housemaid. It's something of the same story, but this one is less good than The Housemaid is. So, if you can choose, just watch The Housemaid. It's better. Clown in the Cornfield definitely is a film that was better than I expected it to be. It still wasn't that awesome, but it was good enough. I had fun with this one. It's not as bad as you expected it to be. In its own way, Locked is a film I would have loved more if it was a little bit shorter, just actually a lot shorter, and if the story didn't go as far as they did. If it was just about this man in the car being locked in there, about Anthony Hopkins teasing him, I would have loved that, but they tried to add so much social commentary to this film that absolutely wasn't necessary for a project like this. The Phonician Scheme is the new film from Wes Anderson, and I really like this one as well again, but the problem I have with this film is a problem that I have seen with a lot of Wes Anderson films lately. It's more of the same. It's always the same thing with this guy, and it's starting to bore me. The acting in Steve is genuinely really good, and the story made me emotional after a while, but I do think this one is too long as well and also gets boring after a while. Caught Stealing is one of those films that I had very high on my list, but it eventually ended up being a little bit disappointing because I thought I would have loved this more than I did. In the end, it was a little bit generic, but I did definitely like most aspects of this, and the acting is amazing. The same thing goes for It Was Just an Accident, but I am certain that we haven't heard the last from this film. I think this will do very well at the Oscars if it eventually gets nominated, which I think it will. I just didn't love it. The End is a musical about people who can't sing, and the story is really interesting, but it's also way too long, which is a problem I have with most films this year. But yeah, The End, it had something going on for it. It was really interesting for a while, but it just keeps on going, and the music is interesting enough, but nobody really can sing, so you really start to notice that after a while. Kensuke's Kingdom is a film that I tried to watch very hard because I just couldn't find a screening when I actually could attend it. And when I found one, I was very happy, so I went. And yeah, it was okay. All jokes aside, if I even told a joke, no I didn't, but you know, it's good enough. It's good enough. The animation is solid. The animation is solid. I have seen the story a lot of times before though, and that's what really brought this one down. The Tatas 3 is the third Tata film, the third one about some gangstas, and it's better than I expected because I didn't love the second one and I thought this one was going to be very mediocre as well. There's virtually nothing happening, but I did like what I was seeing and I had fun with this one. Even though they really need to give Sterre Koning something to do because they don't use her for anything in these films, and it annoys me because she's gorgeous to look at and she can act as well, so give her something to do. Najib Amhali really was fun in this one though, and I absolutely loved what they did with him. Nachtvlinders, another Dutch film, and yeah, it's good, it's interesting. It went on for too long and it stopped being interesting after a while, but the first half that I really loved, that was really good. It's just the film lost me in the second half. Tron Ares could have been something so great, but I'm just not a big fan of the Tron franchise, and adding Jared Leto to your project is usually what ruins it or the entire franchise. So hey, what did they expect? Great soundtrack though. Primitive War, a film about dinosaurs in the Vietnam War. What more could you want? Nothing. This is exactly what I expected this film to be, and I liked it for what it was. And as I said, it's exactly what I expected this film to be. It genuinely does look amazing for the small budget that they had though. They were so lucky with I Know What You Did Last Summer that I liked the entire film up until the plot twist reveal, because Jesus Christ, if I hated this film beforehand, before getting to that reveal of the bad guy being the person who was the bad guy, I would have been so fucking pissed. Now I was pissed, and I still don't dig it. But the journey to get there was fun at least. The King of Kings tells us the entire story about Jesus and about the crucifixion of him. And I have to say, good enough. I hope they will show this one in schools because it's a very faithful, very child-friendly adaptation of the story. So that is something really nice, and I think they should put this one in schools. A Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, is a movie that I would have loved even more if I cared a little bit more, but maybe it just wasn't the moment for me to watch this film because I didn't love it as much as I wanted it to. I really wanted to though. I really did. Behind the Curtain, Stranger Things The First Shadow is a really good behind the scenes look at the Stranger Things The First Shadow play that is playing in both Broadway and the West End. But the problem with the documentary itself is mostly that they tried to give you an urgency of time vibe with this, but they never showed us that. They said continuously, oh no, we are running out of time, this is going wrong, but they never actually showed us that. We never got to experience that stress. Shelby Oaks is Chris Stuckman's film, and I absolutely liked what they did with the story of this one. Sadly enough, the movie theater I went to absolutely ruined the experience by just skipping the first 20 minutes of this film. But when I watched those at home, I was very satisfied with what I got. The writing of this is okay, could have been better, very much better by the way, and the direction of this is what really stood out as being amazing. The found footage aspect of this film, really good, really good. The Conjuring Last Rites is not a great film, but I had fun with it because it felt like an ending to the Conjuring franchise. The only sad thing about this film, I really liked that personal vibe with the family touch. I did like that story because I grew up with the Warrens and I was happy with that. But they really butchered the horror aspect of this one, so this one is just not that amazing. Lilo and Stitch is a film I absolutely love, and its live-action counterpart is something I like. I do think it butchered some things like some of the characters, and I do think it goes on for a little bit too long, but for the rest it is a very faithful adaptation, apart from some changes they made which were weird. But I liked those changes, and I liked the things that were the same. I don't know. The girl playing Lila was really good. Vleesdag is a Dutch film about people who are trying to stop a slaughterhouse. It's really fun. It tells something that people need to see, but it does so in a good way. I don't know, I had fun with this one. Could have been better. Could have been very much worse. So there's some good things in this. The animation of In Your Dreams is absolutely stunning. The story being provided here is more cliche and is not the most interesting part of it, but it's good enough. Good Fortune is a film that stars Keanu Reeves as an angel, and that is really fun. The only aspect of this that I didn't like is our main character in Aziz Ansari. I didn't like him. Final Destination Bloodlines is not a perfect film, but at least I had a lot of fun with this one. It actually has, in my honest opinion, one of the best openings. And the movie does go on for a little bit too long, but I think this is the best Final Destination film that's out there. They're already making a new one though, and I really don't want that. And the ending for Tony Todd was... it was emotional. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, I forgot which side I am on. So we're going back to this one. We go to the halfway point with Bank of Dave 2 The Lone Ranger. Whenever this one got announced, I was like, why the fuck did Bank of Dave need a sequel? But now I see it, and now I understand. Does it need a third one? Nope. And this one also got really silently released on Netflix, only in the UK, by the way, not everywhere else. So yeah. I had fun with this. It's not as bad as I expected this one to be. So it actually... I mean, Dave just makes you feel good. He makes you feel warmth. And that is really nice. Peacock is a film that I genuinely really liked the first time I watched it, which is the reason why I gave it a high score for a film like this. But I have to be honest, I watched so many films that I just forgot what this one was about. Was it about the guy who can't do anything right? I actually forgot it. I do remember the original title for this one, and that's Frau ben ich echt. That I do remember. Also, one of the first films I saw this year, Bad Genius. I kind of liked how tenseful this was. It had a good tension, the story was questionable, but I liked what they did with it, and it was good enough in my opinion, and I enjoyed the tension of this. I enjoyed feeling that tension. Tension. Oh yeah, you will definitely see me getting a lot weirder as we progress through the night, because I have been recording for 1 hour and 14 minutes already. Not 14, 40. 40. Companion had such a great first trailer where it was absolutely looking like this girl was being massacred by her boyfriend and was going to be a film like that, but then the second trailer showed us that she was a robot, and that ruined it. That would have been the perfect plot twist for the film if they just had the balls to only have that first trailer. I do think genuinely that having a second trailer with the reveal of her being a robot, that it killed some of the experience of this film. I didn't love the first Spinal Tap film, but I did like Spinal Tap 2 The End Continues. Whenever I heard what this film was going to be about and what it was going to tackle, I was like, oh, that's very cliche. But I think they did it in a very sincere way that I really liked. It's just so sad that whenever I watched this film and I saw the news about Rob Reiner and his death, I was really sad about that. So rest in peace to Rob Reiner and his wife. Maria stars Angelina Jolie, and she was awesome in this, and the singing also was awesome, but it wasn't Angelina Jolie, or just not entirely her, I think. The movie itself, way too long, looks amazing. Probably a lot of angry people at me right now for putting this at 144, but The Brutalist was brutal to sit through. It was really fucking long, and I did like everything else, but just the length of this motherfucker killed me. Oh my fucking god, this one wouldn't stop. Kinda have the same vibe with the Black Dog film. I mean, liked what it was trying to tell, but did go on for too long. But the rest of it is good. The Pupil is a Dutch film about sexual abuse and minorities and pedophiles. And it's a really good film. It just takes a little bit too long to get to the point, which is sad. It has a lot of... and it tries to tell you how slow things like this build up over time, but by having it feel as slow as they did on the film itself, for the film it didn't work. On Ira is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. It does go on for a little bit too long as well, but whenever the movie gets to the point and whenever they add the emotional scenes to it, they really work and they really do very well. The Mastermind is a film that is a little bit too stylistic, and they try to give you... They try to add too much compassion to this guy, which is just a criminal, and everything that happened in this film that was bad for him, he had it coming. You really hated this guy. Oh my god, people are really going to be angry with me, but Train Dreams was too long for me. Too slow for me as well. I loved the acting, I loved the way this film looks, and I loved the soundtrack of Train Dreams. I didn't love the pacing of it. Colorful Stage, the movie, A Miku Who Can't Sing, is an original anime film that I was interested in by knowing what it was going to be about. Was very confused the first half. Whenever the movie clicked for me, I enjoyed the later half of this plot a lot. The second half of this film was really amazing in my opinion. Novocaine is a little bit too generic in my opinion, but I did love what they did with it. It was a fun ID. They kind of did the ID very well. It was just a little bit too long again and could have gotten a little bit more to the point, and after a while it got a little bit repetitive as well. Dogman, part dog, part man, all hero. I like this one. It's not amazing, but I liked it. The Gorge was really good for a lot of the film. It's only that the genre blending that they did, where they decided to just have 3 different genres play after each other, that one didn't work, and I didn't love the third act because of that. Die, My Love had amazing performances, but was an anxiety attack to sit through because Jesus Christ, this film is not difficult, but difficult to get through. I mean, holy shit. Shit just keeps happening. The Running Man was not as amazing as I hoped it would be, but it was still a very good film. The only sad part about this film is that I had to lose 2 teeth because of this film, because I was eating a chippy and my tooth broke, and then 2 teeth had to be pulled, and that hurts like hell. It hurted. Oh my fucking god. But hey, I like the film. Genuinely, I watched half of this film with a bottle that just came out of the fridge, just like this. That was how I watched the film, because I wouldn't stop watching it. I like films too much. Little Amélie et la Métaphysique des Tubes is a Belgian-Japanese-French co-production, and it really works in all of those ways. The animation is absolutely stunning. The story being provided is really good. It's just, even though it's only 1 hour and 15 minutes, it feels a little bit too long. Sorry, it just is. It feels lengthy, and after a while you have seen it, but what they did with the story was really good, but the animation absolutely saved this thing because it looks gorgeous. The animation is beautiful. Very sad about this one, but the third Paddington film is more mediocre and more generic than the other 2 films were, so I didn't love this one as much as I loved the first 2, and that's really sad because I do like myself some good Paddington. I hope they make a Paddington 4, and I hope they go back to the formula of the first 2 films. A Complete Unknown stars Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. It's a really good film. That's it. This is just a really good film. Het Grote Offensief is a documentary that was acted out by a lot of actors, which was really good, but also some of its downfalls because it tells a very important story in telling us what happened after D-Day. So how did they do the big offensive, the big push into Germany in the Second World War right after D-Day, and everything that they had to go in as fast as possible, basically the Allies version of the Blitzkrieg. And it was really good, but there are some actors in this who are absolutely atrocious. One of Them Days is a film that you probably think is going to be bad, but I had a lot of fun with this one. It's a really fun film. The comedy actually does land for a while, and this one is getting a sequel, and I can kind of see why, and I'm really looking forward to that one as well. Ocean with David Attenborough is really good because you can just listen to David Attenborough's voice all over again, and listening to that man is amazing. But after a while of this film continuously telling you how fucked up humans are, you kind of have seen it. It goes on for a little too long, but it's David Attenborough in a movie theater, so that does work. So if you like his voice, then definitely give this one a watch. The documentary about the creation of John Wick chapters 1 through 4 is really good when it is about John Wick, and really bad when it just is about the making of the film. They give you a lot of time on that first John Wick, which is logical, and how that one was created, how they get to the story, how they got to the filming, and how problematic the filming was. And then they have some time left, and they kind of really quickly go over chapter 2, 3, and 4, which was sad. Fabula is a film from Limburg, a place where I am from. I live in the province of Limburg in Belgium, not in the Netherlands, but this one is about the Netherlands, Limburg, and I liked it for that. It's a fucked up film. It's a weird film. It's a bonkers film, but I liked it. Fucked up with the quality of this poster, but Grand Theft Hamlet is Hamlet in Grand Theft Auto. The idea was really amazing. It's basically a documentary on how they created that, and then at the end of the film you have the Hamlet production. And I like that Hamlet production, but the road to getting there sometimes got a little bit boring. But I just love the entire idea of this film. I mean, making Hamlet in GTA during Corona, funny. Just funny. I mean, with the creation of GTA 6 and with its release, will we have Grand Theft Romeo and Juliet in 2026? Okay, no, 1.5 months to release that film. If the game actually releases, is a little bit close. So let's say 2028. Grand Theft Romeo and Juliet. Another Belgian film, Young Mothers, is a film about young women who became a mother really, really early in life. And it's a really personal film, it's a close film, and it's good when it gets really close and really intense, but it's also really slow sometimes, which takes it down a little bit. But it's a really good film, worth telling. Sirat has some absolutely devastating moments in it, and kind of forgets about him after a while, which makes it a really sad film sometimes, because they could have done so much more with the big plot twists that they have, and in the end they kind of lose all sense of gravity and lose all sense of logic, and they go too far with what the story was about. But that first heartbreak that you get, oh my god, you feel it. Magazine Dreams, starring Jonathan Mayers. He is amazing in the film. He looks amazing. He is genuinely really scary to look at because of how strong that he is. And it's also a really good film worth mentioning. I couldn't possibly see this film if it wasn't for going to America, and this film was available on the plane, so I didn't watch it in the most ideal way. But what I saw, I loved. It's only a little bit long. It's lengthy. It's definitely lengthy. A film that was really cute, but it also had some problems with it. That problem being that I just disliked both of the main characters, but their love story was okay. It was also very cute, but where I hated the sibling vibe in My Fault London, I hated the cheating vibe in this one. So hey, there's a problem in all of us. Apart from me, I'm not a problem. Nanas is a really cute film, and I really want to go eat at the restaurant because it's based upon reality, and I thought the film adaptation was really fun, really nice, really cute, and I loved the performances in this one. War 2 is a part of that YSR or RSF spy universe that we are having with Patan. I liked what they did with this one. The fights are amazing, and well, we have the guy from RRR doing something in this one as well. A little bit too many plot twists in the end, but I really liked the product that we ended up with. It was just good fun for 3 hours. The Most Precious of Cargos is heartbreaking, and its animation is absolutely stunning and beautiful. I hoped it would have been a lot better. It is a bit lengthy in my opinion, but I liked for what it was. Try Zombie is a Belgian zombie film where the zombie virus can attack and can get to everyone apart from people with the Down syndrome. I think that's amazing. So if you have an extra chromosome, you're safe from the zombies. That idea is genuinely so fun, and I do know the director personally because I did work on his short film as well, and I think that is really cool. What do we have here? It's Jenna Ortega in another film, and this one is a rom-com with Percy Hines White. I like this one. I like romantic films, so I like this one. This one was really cute, and it had a good ending, and Jenna Ortega was absolutely amazing in this film because she can act very, very, very well. Friendship is a film starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson, and whenever you have Tim Robinson in your film, you kind of have to know what you are getting into. I did know that, and still I was surprised, and still I was having a headache. So I liked it. It's absolutely what you should expect from a film like this. Oh my god, I did have a headache though, so be wary of that. I absolutely hated that first film from Batman Ninja, but the sequel actually was really, really, really good. It's not the best film. It does go on a little bit too long as well, but the improvement on the first one is humongous. Trainwreck, The Real Project X is a documentary on an event that I actually know of happening because I was online when certain things of this were going on in life. I don't know a lot about it, so it was really nice to have this inside view of what happened on that day. I also watched the YouTubers that were filming there and filmed a little bit of that event itself. I really love those YouTubers, so I really liked seeing a documentary with them also in it, by the way, so that was really nice, and I like this. It's also really short, and that is always getting a win. Neighborhood Watch is another film with Jack Quaid this year, and this one, really good in my opinion. It has a really good thing going for it, something very unique with our main character in Jack Quaid, and also Jeffrey D. Morgan is also really good. Didn't expect to like The Rule of Jenny Penn so much, but in the end it definitely moved me in a way that I was not emotional, but I was invested in it. And me being invested in a story that I thought beforehand I was going to hate, there's some grace in that. This one is really fun for some time. The Map That Leads to You is yet another romantic comedy film, or just a romantic film, and this one also really worked. I just like rom-coms. I think this one was pretty good. I loved it. No, I didn't love it. I liked it. I liked it well enough. It went on a little too long again. Fun fact, I saw this film at the official El Capitan Theater in Hollywood from Disney, so I saw this at their own movie theater, which was amazing. The vibe I got from that was cool. I got a pizza with it, only the pizza was not in the form of a mouse, which I thought was pretty sad, and the film itself was really generic, but I had fun with it. It was better than I expected, but sometimes you could feel the Disney Plus original vibe still over this film. Together has a great idea but doesn't know what to do with it, but what they ended up with, apart from the chemistry between Dave Franco and Alison Brie, which in my opinion was good enough but never the sole forefront of the film, it was good enough. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, but it wasn't that bad either, so I really liked what I ended up with. I just wanted to like it more. Same thing goes for Wolves. I liked it, didn't love it. Brad Pitt and George Clooney are really good, but I like the other kid that was also in Weapons that I will still talk about. I liked that one a little bit more than I liked it, or I liked him more than I liked these two. Also, this is a 2024 film, but this one was pulled from theaters, and I could only start watching this in 2025, so that's why I gave it a chance this year. Relay is a film that was more tenseful than I expected it to be. There was just a big fucking plot twist in this film that I ended up not loving so much, but the journey to get to that plot twist and them having the balls to do something like this was both a blessing for a movie like this, but also its curse. But I ended up really liking the film because of that, apart from its third act, which is, in my opinion, a little bit sad. Another one of those films that I eventually really would want to love, but I ended up not loving it, but just really liking it. The Roses is really good, is really funny, but doesn't know what to do with itself in the third act, in my opinion. Kind of gets off the rails a little bit too fast, and I didn't love it as much as I wanted it to. Drop genuinely surprised me when it aired, and I liked it for what it was. It wasn't the best movie, but I liked it for the things that it did. The same goes for Swiped. This film was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It actually was a really good film. It had some great tension. It had a really important story that needed to be told. So I was very happy that a film like this has been made. It's really good. And it's also nice to see the real story around the creation of Tinder and Bumble? Was it Bumble? It was Bumble. Film absolutely looks amazing, goes on for a little too long as well, but it does look absolutely stunning and absolutely phenomenal. There's only gracious things to say about this one. Didn't love it as much as I wanted to. Didn't love it as much as I should do. But it looks amazing. It looks genuinely amazing. We are officially at 2/3 of this film. We are doing great so far. The recording has been going on for 2 hours and 7 minutes already. So, we're not done yet. I took a short break, and now I absolutely forgot which side I was on, so let's start at this one. Yeah, Bruce Springsteen is on number 100. Yes, it is! Alright, so Bruce Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, was a film about his life, but also just a film about a small section of his life. The small section that they told was really good. Wanted to see a little bit more about the man itself, but the things that they tackled, really good. Jeremy Allen White, amazing. Sisu, Road to Revenge is a film that I would love to love more, but it was really good again. It was more of the same though, but it kind of didn't need to be anything else. It's just they kind of went a little bit too weird on that last act. I don't know. Didn't love it. Roofman is very funny, but also deeply sad sometimes, and it has something beautiful in its story. It's about a criminal, but a good criminal. The Thursday Murder Club is a Netflix original film whodunit that is cute because it's about elder people and they do it in a fun way. It has a great cast. I had fun with this one. It goes on. Oh my god, I've said it so much already. A little bit too long. If you told me that you expected a live-action adaptation of the game Exit 8, I would tell you that you were lying, because I think no one expected this. The end product we ended up with was really interesting, really fun, a little bit artsy, but they kind of did too much with what they had to do. It was just amazing as it could have been, but they added a little bit too much story. I mean, I don't hate this film as much as everyone else does. Yeah, I do feel like the creature design of the Demonosaurus, I forgot what his name was, the D-Rex, D-Brand. I do feel like he does look like a Rancor, and I do think it's pretty funny that this entire thing started because of a Snickers bar. But yeah, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson was good, and I liked some of the things that were happening. I don't know, I don't hate this one as much. Ballerina is definitely saved by those action sequences, which are amazing, because if this film was solely resting upon the shoulders of the entire rest of the story, that what was not an action sequence, I would have ended up hating the absolute shit out of this, because that's yeah, it really was a lot better because of those action sequences. Like, oh my god, they saved this film. Until Dawn is very interesting, because I hadn't played the game when I saw this film, and I was like, the movie is actually really good. And then I played the game and I was like, oh, now I get why everyone was so angry. Still, I liked the film. Granted, it's not a faithful adaptation of the game, I do give it that. White Bird, A Wonder Story is a film that is connected to wonder for reasons, but the movie itself is really good. I absolutely loved this one. Not loved, but I really liked this one. Its connection to wonder is just weird. The Parenting, I really had fun with this one. I thought it was pretty funny, and I thought it did a well job at doing what it did. Yeah, could have been worse, could have been worse. Chainsaw Man, the movie, the Reese arc, was a really good cinematic experience, especially when you watch it with a lot of fans that I absolutely did. But I am not the biggest fan of Chainsaw Man. I just think the film was good enough, absolutely good enough. I liked it for what it was. Would have loved it better if it was something else, but hey, you know, I'm not the biggest Chainsaw Man fan, but I did like this one. I know, I never expected Plankton the movie to be the better SpongeBob movie of this year either, but I absolutely loved this one, especially because my expectations for this film were pretty damn fucking low because of Sandy Cheeks, the movie, but this one was really fun, and I thought this was the better film of the two this year, so, you know, maybe Netflix isn't the worst thing after all. A House of Dynamite is really good when it gets really good, but the choice that they made for the story of this film to split it up into 3 parts was weird. We have to see the same thing 3 times from 3 different perspectives, and it continuously hits you with a whiplash because you are completely sucked into it, get blown out of it, get sucked into it again by then being blown out of it again, and then you never get back in. And it's really sad because I really wanted to. I adore them for not showing us what is actually happening and how it happened and how it ended up with what was going on. But the tension was there, and I definitely felt that. Captain America Brave New World, in my opinion, was good enough. I think it would have been a lot better if they didn't show us the Red Hulk beforehand and instead showed us or focused on other things during the marketing instead of just having a big fight with the Hulk or Red Hulk, because that is what broke this film for so many people, because they were expecting a lot of Red Hulk and it wasn't that. This film mostly as a sequel to The Incredible Hulk to get the characters back for something. It's fun in my opinion. I have a lot of fun with this one. I like Sam Wilson. He's a really good Captain America. Familiar Touch is a film about someone with dementia, so of course I will love this one because dementia hits really close to home because half of my family has it or had it in their lives. And yeah, I felt connected to this one and I felt like it was... It had a familiar touch. I did not expect to like this one so much, but this one had a lot of good tension. This one had a lot of good acting. I mean, Amanda Seyfried is perfectly unhinged in this film. And the twist ended up being something that absolutely surprised me, so I was having fun with this one. I thought this one was pretty damn good, and I was genuinely really surprised about this. Predator Badlands is a really good action film within the Predator universe. I am just scared that this day might take away the scariness of the Predators itself about the Yatya. But the rest of the film, it's just a really good film, and if they make more films like these, I wouldn't be so angry either. So there's a good thing in the not so good thing, which is obviously that I'm scared about the scariness of the Yatyas becoming a little less big than it actually is. But hey, the movie itself had some really fun sequences, and I absolutely love those. The Naked Gun. It's funny. It works. It really, really works. Liam Neeson is amazing. I do hope they will not make another one of these, though. I do hope they will just leave it at this, because this was good as it was, and doesn't need anything else. This was perfect as it was. Leave it at this. This was good. Now you see me, and now you don't. Really bad joke. I'm very sorry. But yeah, good sequel in my opinion. It wasn't that bad. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of this one. It's the least good film in my opinion, and the ending didn't satisfy me fully, but hey, I loved the journey to get there. Told you I would do more stupid shit now. It hurts me so much placing this film in 81st place, because Jesus Christ, I was rooting for this film. I was waiting so long for this. I love Demon Slayer, but when this movie ended up being as long as it was, with so many flashbacks, I just couldn't stop thinking, this is way too long. I mean, it's clearly a setup for what is about to become one of the greatest anime experiences of our lifetime in 2027 and 2029, but for now, it was just a little bit lengthy for what it was. I absolutely love this film, but it could have been a little bit shorter, more streamlined, more focused. Hard Truths is funny at times, but it's mostly depressing, and when it is depressing, it absolutely hits you. This movie has a lot of great things happening in it that I absolutely like. It's also just... It's impactful. I like that. It's really impactful. September 5th is also really impactful because it is incredibly tenseful. I liked what they did with this. I do think it's a little bit too long, but the way this was filmed and the way they did this was really good. I felt all of the tension. I know not a lot of people are a fan of this one, and this one also has a documentary that is a lot better, but I haven't seen the documentary. I do have to say that for the film adaptation of this, I definitely felt it. I do know that this adaptation is not that faithful, I think, because there were a lot more assholes on board, especially the guy played by Woody Harrelson was a lot more of an asshole, I think. But yeah, really works for what it did. I held my breath during this film, so there's a good thing about that. So you know, I have to say that the film does feel a lot less likely to being able for him to survive all of that, but you know, it's a true story and it happened for real, so there's miracles after all. Le Comte de Monte Cristo is also a really good film. It's also really long, but I absolutely loved what I saw in this one. It looks amazing, the acting is amazing, this film is amazing. It's another slasher. I'm a big slasher fan, so I really liked what they did with Hard Eyes. I do have to say, again, in the end, it goes a little bit too far. It goes on for a little bit too long, but what they did with the rest of the film and the slasher aspect of this, I definitely loved it. And with the right care, they could potentially make Hard Eyes an iconic villain in horror, if they tried their best with it. If I Had Legs at Kick You is genuinely heartbreaking, as it is just so incredibly sad, and that is a strong suit of this film. It's just so sad to watch because of everything that's happening to her. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world, being a mother in the way that she is, and it's really sad. And Rose Byrne or Byrne does deserve an acting nomination for this because she's amazing. Conan O'Brien is really good, but A$AP Rocky is the biggest standout in my opinion, apart from Rose Byrne, who deserves absolutely all of the awards. But A$AP Rocky, didn't recognize him. He's a rapper, I know that. But he was acting very well as well, and he deserves some recognition there too. But the story is maybe a little bit too dark for me at times. Not dark in the way of the word that you think it is, but just dark, and there's nothing good happening. And that is what brought this down a little, because it's a hard watch. Sentimental value absolutely is a gorgeous film with a lot of great things happening in it. For me personally, it does go on a little too long again, but I loved what I was seeing. Stellan Skarsgård is absolutely amazing and deserves some Oscar nominations as well, as does everyone else who is involved with this film. It's amazing, it's heartbreaking, it's sad, it's funny, it's lovable, it's really good. I have always been interested in presences and the afterlife, not really afterlife, but something of an unseen dimension on top of ours, where things that we can't see are being present, like the spirits and stuff like that. So a film like this, from her perspective, from the perspective of the spirits, was really good and really interesting. What they did with the story was not just really good, they also added a lot of emotion on top of that, which topped it all off with a reveal in the end that is heartbreaking and also really good. Memoir of a Snail is a very slow film, but it looks beautiful. The story is amazing, and it's a really sad film. It had a lot of recognition on the Oscars, and I loved that it did that because it was really good. Another film I saw in America because I had some time left. I liked Sketch for what it was and what it did. It was a really fun film, and it had some good emotional story beats happening. It was just a little bit too long and got a little bit too weird in the end, but I loved the journey to get there, and I loved the designs for it. But, gotta be honest, with this movie being an advertisement for an app that is behind a paywall is cheap. Sorry, not sorry. I loved Heads of State. I thought this movie was absolutely amazing. I thought it was so funny. I loved everything in this film. It does go on for a little too long as well, but the journey and the acting, not the acting isn't anything special, but the funny, the jokes, it really worked. I laughed my ass off with this one, and it flew by. I loved it. Same thing goes for Megan 2.0. I think the genre shift this one did was a little bit weird, as we took away everything from that first Megan, but what we ended up with also was really good, and I really liked that. An absolute well-deserved Oscar win for Kieran Culkin because he's absolutely amazing in the film. The film itself also is really good. It goes on for a little bit too long again, but what it did was really good. Enjoyed the story, enjoyed the acting, enjoyed everything else. This one is difficult because I rated it and placed it in this list upon my first viewing of it. I did try to see it a second time, but that was when I was already awake for 40 hours in the plane back home from America. So I was feeling very sad when I watched this film again, and I also slept through about half of it. So I really need to give this one another chance to see it if I still love it. But I genuinely had a lot of fun with the Minecraft movie. It's not great, it's not awesome, it's not the best movie ever, but I had fun with it, more fun than I expected to have, so I'm gonna give it that. Splitsville is a comedy that's genuinely really funny a lot of times, and there's one sequence in this film in around its second act that is just so genuinely amazing and so well placed and so funny that I was genuinely pissing my pants. Not really, but it was close to pissing my pants from laughing. It was really funny at times. Oh my god, another Sydney Sweeney film. She made a lot of films this year. This one, really good, had the tension, really worked for what it was, and I liked it. Sorry about that. I liked it. It was good enough. Ana de Armas was not that great though. Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story, is a good retelling of how Jaws got made, what was funny behind the scenes, and what was problematic behind the scenes. So it was a really fun intel and a really fun look into what it took to get Jaws made and how that film impacted the movie industry. So it's a really, really interesting film to see if you are or if you are not a fan of Jaws. The Return is a very important film if you want to see the Odyssey next year, because this is the story of Odysseus and it's really good. Ralph Fiennes is amazing and we do see his magic wand in this film, so be prepared of that. There's nakedness in this, but I loved making that joke on Letterboxd, so I'm gonna give it to you one as well. We saw Voldemort's wand one more time. Dangerous Animals is a really intense film, and it's a really good film because of that. And the best thing about this, it's Dangerous Animals, so it's plural, it's multiple, and you only see one animal. That is because the other animal is a beast in real life, a beast on the boat, and it is genuinely terrifying at times, and I really, really, really loved it. The unhinged portrayal is really good. I like Nobody too. It's good in my opinion. It's very short, which is the best thing about this. I know a lot of people think this one is but I think this was really good. I do hope to make a third one, and I do hope to bring Christopher Lloyd back for that one as well. And I still want that Christopher Lloyd spin-off. Just have Christopher Lloyd in the Home for the Elders, trying to protect that from a bunch of thieves. Could be amazing. Rietland is a very slow Dutch film and is the Dutch sent in for the Oscars. It did not make the shortlist, so you won't see it at the Oscars, but it was a really interesting film. It's something like a whodunit. It's really interesting. Really, 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 really interesting, but also really slow. And we go with another And here we go with another Dutch film. This one is a Disney Plus original film from the Netherlands, which is really interesting. The Balloonist is really dark, really gritty, really sad, really heavy material. I didn't even notice this beforehand, but this is the third Dutch film in a row. Our Girls, Onze Meisjes, is... this one is heavy. If you had a heavy film with Rietland, you had an even more heavy film with the Balloonist. But if you have the Balloonist being heavy, this one is... this broke me. This is this is one of the most scary films ever. And not because it's a horror film, but because of the story material that they have. Holy fuck, I felt this one. Eleanor the Great is the directorial debut of Scarlett Johansson, and June Squibb stars in a leading role in this one, and she is genuinely amazing. The film touches you, the film is really good, and I was a big fan of Eleanor the Great. Den Siste Viking, or The Last Viking, is a film that is really interesting because it tackles a lot of things. It's about one of the Beatles that is trying to make music, but also tries to find a box, who is there with another guy, and there are other things happening, and they are getting crazy, and it's interesting, and you really have to see the film. I mean, holy shit, there are so many things happening. It's one of the most funny films of the year, but also has a really great and emotional story attached to that fun. Elio surprised me because I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did, but I definitely did. I think this film was really good, I think this film was really solid, and I think this one was way better than I expected this one to be. Do I have to say sorry for this? I don't think I do. I do like what they did with Five Nights at Freddy's 2, especially because I just like that first one. This one was an improvement. It's still not the best film. It's really not a great film either, but I had a lot of fun with it, and the movie theater I went to watch this film, I had a good experience watching this, so that is really neat and really nice. So sorry, but I liked Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I also really liked The Smashing Machine. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but having Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a role like this, I just have a huge bunch of respect for this guy. He is amazing in the film. He rocks it. The Rock rocks it. Do hope he gets some Oscar nominations for this, but I genuinely don't think he will, but I will very much hope that he does, because he is amazing. The Voice of Hind Rajab is absolutely one of the most heartbreaking films of the year because of how real the topic is, and it's a film that is deserved to be seen by everyone because of the things that it tackles. Just if you haven't seen The Voice of Hind Rajab yet, give it a chance. It will break you, but it will also make you think, and that is really important. 1 hour of uncut Ed Sheeran walking through New York, getting to some places, and it was a really good fun hour. The one-shot experience of this was really amazing. The technical value of everything that he did was also just a technical achievement in my opinion, so that was really good. But of course, it's made by the guy that also directed Adolescence, so what did we expect from this? Materialists is a new film from Celine Song, who also created Past Lives, which I absolutely loved. This one stars Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, and Chris Evans, and is really good. My first experience watching this film was not the greatest because I almost died a few hours after, but hey, that is a story that I told a week ago, so there is something in that. I just died watching this, or almost died watching this film, but I still ended up watching the entire thing. The Black Phone 2 is one of the most unnecessary sequels to exist in this earth, but you know what they did with the story, once it gets going and once you accept how different it is from that first one and how they just changed up everything about it, it gets really good again, and it gets as good as that first one did. That third act of this film was amazing in my opinion. I loved that. Eternity. Eternity, I love this one, I love this one. I'm not gonna start singing, I already did. Sorry for your ears. I understand if you clicked away right now. If you just joined in right here, sorry. Alright, no, Eternity, it's good. It's really good. The acting is really good. The story is really good. Goes on a little bit too long again, but I really liked what I saw in this one. Dracula got delayed in America, so will become a 2026 film over there, and I hope all of the Americans going to watch this film will enjoy it, because it's a really good film. It's lengthy, but it's really good. It has more humor than you think it will have, but also tackles some very dark things, so it's a genre mix, but one that is done extremely well. I was a big fan of Dracula. I loved this one. Zootopia 2 is a movie... Zootopia 2 is a movie we all knew was going to be good. I'm actually going to watch it for a third time tomorrow, not planned, but my friends wanted to go see a movie. I said, I'll go with you, so I'm gonna watch Zootopia 2 again. I liked this film. I don't even mind that I'm going to see it a third time because I did think it was really good when I saw it. So yeah, I liked this film. It was a good sequel, and of course it made $1 billion again. I mean, what the fuck did we expect? This was going to be successful. We knew that. I'm just gonna say it because we know I will probably say it, but yeah, this one was a little bit too long, but the tension I felt during watching of this film, holy crapperoni. I mean, this film is way too long in aspects that it didn't need certain plot lines, like the entire thing with his family just doesn't work that well for the film. It was just him trying to get these kids to a safe place away from the fire. That one would have been really great. They added another family plot line to this, and that one wasn't necessary. I am so easy. I am way too easy. Another rom-com? I loved it. McKenna Grace in a leading role? I love it. I loved her since Gifted, so I think she's a really good actress, especially in this film. Mason Thames is also in this, and he's also really amazing, and he did very well this year with The Black Phone, Regretting You, and another film that I will still talk about in How to Train Your Dragon. So yeah, wow, he had a good year. McKenna Grace had a good year with films as well, because she was also in Five Nights at Freddy's, but it's a romantic film, and of course I liked it. I'm easy. Twinless is a romantic film in another sort of way, because this one also is really amazing, but the story provided is also just really good. It's really impactful. There is one thing of it that I took away for it for a lot of time, of the time of the film, because I did hate the main character in, not Derek, but Dennis. Jesus, I'm really bad with names. So I did dislike Dennis a lot, but after a while I still felt bad for him, so there's a good grace in that. One of those films I would have hoped that I loved more than I eventually did, but Frankenstein is amazing, looks gorgeous, has phenomenal acting, is just a little bit too long for its own good, but it's really phenomenally made film. It's just not as good as other Guillermo del Toro films, but as I said before, it's really fucking good. The official cinematic start of the DCU was really good, in a film that I hoped I would have loved more than I eventually did, because I did think the story was a little bit mediocre in my opinion. Not that I didn't think it was good. I loved the entire thing around Hope, but there was something that I was missing from this film to make it feel as if it was actually a really great film. But what I got from this film I was really happy with it. I got the feeling of hope from this guy, so there is something great in that, because that is what Superman is all about. It doesn't make me love Superman, because I hate Superman, because everything he does is being afraid of a stone. So I don't vibe with Superman, but I do love the hope part of it, and that is what the film had. And I'm talking way too long about this film, so skip. Next. Song, blue, everybody knows one. I don't know. When I saw the trailer for this film, I was like, I want that. Then it got a Belgian release, and I was like, I need that. I have it. And I saw the film, didn't know anything about it, expected to not like it as much as I did. But the story is really emotional, gets me going, is just phenomenally made. The acting is really good, and I was vibing with the songs. I didn't even know Song Blue was a song until I started singing it. In the beginning of the film, I was like, oh, so that title is a song. And after the end of the film, I was just singing it with them. Song, blue, everybody knows one. I love it. Thunderbolts is the second Marvel film from this year, and the first one that is absolutely really fucking good. I loved the story in this. I loved the emotional parts of this. I love how unconventional it is for a superhero film. It's just them fighting depression. Like, what the fuck was up with that idea? I really like this one, and I can't wait to rewatch it. Another one of those Oscar films that is really great, that I absolutely love myself. This one I did see a very long time ago, but I remember being very impacted by it. I do think this one is a little bit too long as well, but it was really good when I watched it. The same goes for Sing Sing. I don't remember a lot of it because I have seen this film such a long time ago, but what I did know about it is how much I loved it. And I loved the story. I loved how realistic it all was, because they also really used the drama class from that prison. So I do think that that is genuinely amazing choice that made the movie better, and made the movie more personal, and I loved what it did with the story for this one. And Coleman Domingo is amazing. Leave it to the YouTubers to make great horror films. Holy fuck, this one scared me. This is actually one of the first films where I actively looked away because I was grossed out. Holy shit, this shit was bonkers. Oh my god, I can't even start to talk about what this film did. I was literally looking away for a second with this one. This film floored me. It was so good in what it did. Again, a little bit too long. I didn't love it as much as I loved some other films in this list, but it was really good, really worth telling, and I absolutely felt it. Like, holy shit, this was a great film. I have heard loads of mediocre stuff about this one, but I loved it. I think it was pretty fucking good. I was vibing with this one extremely hard. I mean, I did take the rating down a little bit because at first I was like, this is one of the greatest things ever. After sleeping on it, it wasn't anymore, and I didn't love Mark Hamill in the role in this film, but I thought the movie still was really good. Predator Killer of Killers is the second Predator film of this year. It's a fully animated film, also directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who also created the Predator Badlands and Prey 2 years ago. So yeah, I loved this film. The short story vibe that they had going on with this one was really good. The short stories were a lot shorter than I expected, so that is when I noticed that they were probably going to bring them all together in the end, and I absolutely loved that. This film had some huge releases, some huge things happening for the franchise, some very big lore dumps that was very great for the franchise going forward, so there were a lot of good things about this one. Another Belgian film, Gangstas. Absolutely loved it, thought it was amazing. I know not a lot of Belgian people love this one, but it's directed by Adil and Bilal, who also created Bad Boys for Life and Bad Boys Ride or Die. So yeah, this completely had the vibe of those Bad Boys films, but then based in Antwerp, and I think that was a really good choice of them. The Ugly Stepsister is a film that was recommended to me by one of you guys, and thank you for that, because this film, wow, this one got to me. Holy shit. It's about the story of Cinderella, but from the point of view from one of her stepsisters. Holy shit, this film did stuff to me. Holy fuck, I was scared. And this is the second film this year, and the second of two films this year that made me look away in horror because I couldn't see it anymore. I was like, ugh, it was ugh. I felt it. I loved it. It's really fun to talk about 28 years later right now because we are reviewing its sequel in a matter of 1 or 2 weeks, which is amazing, which is really funny in my opinion. I think 1 week even. I think it comes out next week. Yeah, it does. So we are reviewing the sequel in fucking 80 days, which will be amazing. I am looking forward to The Bone Temple. I do think 28 years later is as good as that first movie is, maybe even better. I loved the story that they had for this film. I was really genuinely interested, and the ending was interesting enough to get me hyped for its second film, The Bone Temple. But we'll see where that one goes. The first reactions to that sequel are really fucking good already, so I can't wait for The Bone Temple. Code 3 excels in being more than meets the eye. It's the humor of The Office because we have Rainn Wilson in this, and it's a really tenseful film with a lot of funny things and tenseful things happening. But in its deeper core, it's something much more, and I loved that deeper meaning of this film, so I loved this film for it. It was coming. Who expected this one not to be this high? But K-pop Demon Hunters, I am one of the people that saw it when it first came out because the title of this film was genuinely so fucking bad that I wasn't remotely feeling like this was going to be a great film. But then I watched it and it turned out to be one of the greatest musical experiences of this year. I mean, the world totally saved the honeymoon. So when this thing blew up as hard as it did, I didn't expect it to, but I kind of expected it to do with children, but people all around the world were loving it. I mean, I saw people at a Linkin Park concert vibing to Golden. There's something in there. What the fuck did this film do? It was amazing. Better Man is so incredibly good that 3 of its songs ended up in my top 5 of Spotify Wrapped this year. I loved this film. I know not a lot of people saw this film because a lot of people, especially Americans, were like, "What the fuck is Robbie Williams? He's big in Europe. He's big over here," and we loved this film for us. I was really sad to have no one go to this film to have this film flop as hard as it did, because it's genuinely a really good film. It's one of the best music biopics that's out there. It's on there with Rocketman as being one of the greatest. Live For Me is another Dutch film that came out this year, and the story about this one, in a very short notice, it's about a girl that has cancer and is going to die, and she has a best friend who's about to be deported because of the papers not being in order. So she tries everything she can to give her passport and her place in the Netherlands to that girl, and it's a big movement that they do. I was floored. I was emotionally invested. I cried to the entire film basically. Rental Family officially was the last review I made in 2025, so there's a special place for this one. I loved what they did with this film. I loved the story. I loved Brendan Fraser. I loved Ikamoto in this film. I was very questioned about what they were trying to tell with this one in the beginning, but what they did tell with the story and what they did tell with the material that they had was really good. Absolutely floored me, and I loved the movie for that. I'm not even gonna say sorry for this one because I know a lot of people hate this film, but I loved it. I was invested. I liked what they did with it. Yeah, okay, the entire second half of this film is a big Karate Kid mess, but it was a mess I loved. And I did also love the first half where you have like the child became the mentor kind of thing. That was really cool. So I was really happy with what we got, and Ben Wong is an amazing actor who was in this list in the top 25 twice this year. So yeah, I really liked this one. It was really good. And I loved the banter between Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. I think that was pretty good. And it was a really good film for tying together the two films, like the Karate Kid films and its reboot sequel with Will Smith's son. I thought that was really good. Everyone was talking about Neja 2 when it was coming out in China because this thing is a box office bomb. It's one of the biggest films ever, and when you see it, because it did get a global release, you can kind of see why. The animation of this film is insane. I hope this one gets an Oscar nomination and an Oscar win because its third act, there's so much happening that you don't know where to look, and it all looks amazing. This film is beyond phenomenal. Neja 2 is great. Who would have thought? Another romantic comedy film. And this one? Who would have thought another romantic film in this list and another one being very high? And this one is very special because I'm starting to get scared right now. That light has been on for more than 3 hours already. Is that a problem? Is my house getting on fire in a minute? Stop doing that. Stop it. That's fucking scary. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the special thing about this film is it has same gender love, which I think is something very special. And when they do it right, it should be done like this, because this way the movie, how they tackled it, it did not just tackle same sex love, it also tackled different cultures in love, and that is something really great, and it worked phenomenally well because of that. There is some great personal moments in this. I loved the father character, especially what they did with him in the end, because I did dislike him in the beginning, but they completely turned around on him. I loved the nice Indian boy. I think that was a really, really good film. The Penguin Lessons is a film I did not see coming to love it as much as I did, but the personal story and the personal touch that this one had is genuinely really fucking good, and everything surrounding this film, wow, it works extremely well. We are entering the top 20 of the 300 movies with one battle after another. It's a genuinely really amazing film. It is good, it's nice, it's well acted. In my opinion, it's a little bit too long again, but it's really, really good, and it's one of the high Oscar contenders for this year, and rightfully so. It brought people back to movie theaters, not a lot of people, but people enough. So I was very happy with this one, and Leonardo DiCaprio is absolutely amazing in this. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning may not be as great of an ending as we all hoped it would have been, but I definitely still loved it for what it was. Is the film way too long? Yes. Is most of that because of all the flashbacks to the other films? Yes, but if you did look at all of the Mission Impossible films right before you went into Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, then you would have liked it a little bit more, I guess, because I definitely saw this one as the big final thing that was going on because of watching all of those films beforehand. So I think it's a beautiful end, it's a beautiful send-off. It has funny moments, it has sad moments, it has all of the tension. The tension really works. I just didn't like the ending because they left it open just a little bit too much for if they eventually want to make yet another one of these films, and I kind of hope they will not, or at least not with Ethan Hunt. But he's the guy that creates the franchise, that makes the franchise, that holds the franchise, so they have to stop. Not a lot of people were a fan of Wicked for Good. I was. I did take it down a little bit in my ranking because of when this movie simmered with me a little bit. I recognized that I just don't love a lot of the songs, but I did like the story a lot, so I was very happy with the end product that we got. I do know it is messy. I do agree with the fact that this movie is messy and that the first part is just genuinely a lot better. So me personally, it was like, how is this movie gonna nail everything when they are bringing it home? And in that regard, I think, in my opinion, they succeeded. I think the film really works in that ending. That final 40 minutes or 20 minutes are really good in my opinion. Here he is, How to Train Your Dragon, the live action adaptation. It was really good, and it also proved that people will just never be happy with anything. I mean, a lot of people think this film is genuinely amazing, but whenever Disney is making another live action remake, all of the reactions are, why are you remaking it? Why are you changing stuff? Just make the perfect thing that we loved in the animation and remake that. Don't change anything. And then they don't change anything with this film, and people are still angry. Like, now they are saying, oh my god, you made the same thing, then why don't we just have the animation? I mean, people, come on. This was a really good adaptation, and this film really lent itself to becoming great in live action as well. Yeah, it lost some of its charm, so it's not as charmful and cheery as that original film was, but it was a really well made adaptation. I loved this film. It's so incredibly good. And I have already talked about all of these new films in my top 10 best films of the year, so I will shortly tackle them in here as well. The Bad Guys 2 absolutely baffled me because with how good it was. I expected this film to be good, but not as great as I eventually thought it was. Genuinely amazing, really fucking good, and I can't wait to rewatch this one. I had a blast with this. This is the other Ben Wong film that I loved because The Long Walk, it's a movie about walking for 2 hours, and if you stop, you get shot. The idea is amazing. Stephen King is an amazing writer, and you can see that in this film. And I don't know what they chose to do with this, but this film deserves to be nominated for his casting because everyone just delivered such a phenomenal performance in this film. Holy fuck. It's only as great as it is because of how well everyone acts. Mwah. Top Gun Ferrari is a genuinely amazing film. Sorry, it's F1 the movie, of course. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, the director of Top Gun Maverick, which it says right over there. So yeah, this film, it makes you feel like you're in the car. I still need to rewatch this one more time though to fully get my head around it. I need to see it at home one more time to know if it's as impactful as it was in a movie theater. I am very sad I did not catch this one in 4DX, so if they eventually decide to bring this one back to 4DX theaters, I would absolutely love that, so that way I could enjoy this film. Yeah, I loved it. It's really good. It's really, 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 really good. Same thing goes for Begonia. I didn't love the ending, but I did love the journey to get there. The film is expertly acted, expertly made, expertly crafted, looks amazing, sounds amazing. Everything about the film is amazing, but as I said before, the ending is a little bit controversial in my opinion, and they would have done better job if they didn't caved towards the side that they caved to in the film's ending, if you know what I mean. A film probably none of you have ever heard about, but The Toughest Foot Race on Earth is a Belgian documentary about 2 YouTubers trying to run or walk the Marathon des Sables, which was really intense and really hot. And if they succeeded or not, you will see it in the documentary itself. It's available for free on YouTube. It's completely in English. It is an absolute bonkers film. Loved this one. It is intense, it's cute, it's nice, it has brotherhood, it has love, it has everything you want, it has humor. It's a really good documentary. Wake Up Dead Man is a really good film as well. I loved the whodunit vibe of this. It's the second best Knives Out film because I do love that first one a little bit more because it's more iconic than this one is. But if we have to choose, then this one might have the better story of the 3. So I was very happy with this one. I was very satisfied with what I got with this, and I thought this one was absolutely amazing. Going into the top 10 already, we have Sinners over here, and Sinners is just, wow, did so well with what they did with it. Holy crap. Oh my god. This film, it's not a Halloween film, but it's also not anything else, but it works perfectly on Halloween. It works perfectly at every time and any time of the year. It's just a really well-made film that has a very slow first half, to completely get bonkers in the second half, but in the best way possible. This film is awesome. Sorry, blue people, long run times, and James Cameron just really worked for me because I loved Avatar Fire and Ash. Everything I missed from the second one is some care for the children and a spare story. I got that from this film, so I loved this film, and I was very happy with the end result. Gonna be honest with you, I do think that this film is only as good as it is because of its soundtrack. So yes, I am really angry that they didn't nominate the soundtrack for this film, but did in fact nominate or put Captain America Brave New World on the shortlist and not this one. I think that is criminal. I think this might be one of the best film scores of anything I have heard in the last years. I think it's a really iconic theme song that could be as iconic as a Harry Potter or just a Jaws or anything. I think this is going to be really iconic. The soundtrack is just really fucking good. The movie itself is also really good. I was happy with this. I love the casting, I love the film, I love everything around it. One of the last films I saw this year or last year, so I was really happy to put this one in the list either. I'm not the biggest Shakespeare fan, or at least not of his adaptations. I do love the creative work that the man has done, and I do love his way of writing. I do love what he can do with everything. But what this film did, holy fucking shit. This film, it broke me, it floored me, It caught me and it grabbed me. It held on to me. This film was really, really amazing, and I absolutely loved everything that they did with it. If you ever want the film to feel If you ever want the movie to feel as realistic as possible, then Warfare might be the movie for you, because Jesus Christ, this is war at its worst. This film is so incredibly real. It puts you right in there with these people, and it happens in real time. It's all filmed like it's in real time, like if you're there, and it's heartbreaking. It is scary. It is one of the best war films out there because of how real everything feels. It's not the most accessible film, I'm just saying that. But if you give it a look, and if you give it a try, I will tell you, you will be moved. Same thing goes for Held In, but not with war, but with a criminal shift at work in the healthcare sector. This film will show you how hard that job is and how bad it can be when you are understaffed. So when they were giving applauses to everyone in healthcare in 2020, I didn't applaud with them because I thought that was overdoing it a little bit, because why the fuck would you clap at your own house for the people who couldn't even hear it? I was still respecting everything, but after seeing this film, absolutely well deserved for everyone in healthcare. You are real life heroes. I did not expect this one to be as good as I thought it was, because I didn't even plan on watching it. But with Tyler Perry's Medea's Destination Wedding being as low as it was, and this one being as high as it is really interesting that something like this happened. I mean, this movie floored me in all of the ways of the word. It was intense. It was really sad. I cried for a very long time with this one. It floored me to the bone. And the plot twist in the end, I didn't see it coming, and that was painful as hell. Oh my god, I felt this one. This film is absolutely as good as it is because of... this film absolutely is as good as it is just because of how awesome it was to experience this film. I saw it at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood when I was in America. I saw it in a jam-packed theater with 1,000 other people who were all loving the film. And yeah, the ending is a real big genre mix from, or a genre shift from the rest of the film. And a lot of people were like, is this really working? Well, I can say that the 1,000 people I watched it with absolutely loved what they did with that third act, and I was one of them. This was a genuinely insane experience, but also genuinely insane film. I loved weapons. I love personal touches in films, and Jake Kelly absolutely delivered on that. It's about one of the greatest actors to have ever walked that earth in film, but it's also with an actor that is one of the greatest actors of our time. It's George Clooney, and what they did with it was genuinely amazing. The entire third act, and whenever he got to see his own work, and you see all of these clips of George Clooney's work, it floored me. I was bawling my eyes out, but one of the best things about it has to come in the performance of Adam Sandler. If he doesn't get recognition for this time, like they did with Uncut Gems, I'm going to be so fucking mad, because he deserves recognition for this. He was amazing. And then last but not least, we have Nuremberg, another war movie this year. Of course, I love war movies, and this one actually is not about the war, but what came after it. This one is about the Nuremberg trials. It has a genuinely amazing and baffling performance by Russell Crowe in the role of Hermann Goering. And this film is so incredibly well acted, has a lot of great moments in it, has a lot of great acted out moments between Rami Malek and George Clooney. I'm mixing two films, and Russell Crowe. But the best thing about this film definitely has to be the scene in the second half of the film where they are talking about the Holocaust, because I have so much respect for the filmmakers for doing something like that and making it as lengthy as they did it, because it broke me. I was crying, I was howling basically. I was so floored, and I adore the filmmakers for doing that. It is a very, very scary choice from them to do it like this, but I can only respect it. I can only respect it. And holy shit, we are done with the list. I talked about 300 films in one night, even in one recording. I stopped 2 times to do something. You saw me slide back in the frame some time ago. But yeah, the actual recording ended up being 3 hours and 21 minutes. I am I'm wondering so hard as to where this might up in the actual length when I'm done editing this thing. But yeah, oh my god, we have done it again. 2025 has officially been ranked. Oh my god, it's good to say that. From tomorrow on, we will officially start with 2026 with the release of my review for Greenland Migration, and today or this week I will also review Blue Moon, and then we are slowly gonna build up with other films. So are you excited for what's to come in 2026? Do you agree with my list? What are the most outrageous things you saw in my list? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on my list. Or do you agree with everything? I know a lot of people dislike a lot of the films that I put very high, and also like a lot of the films I put very low. So I know I'm a little bit of a controversial guy, but you know, I like that. Someone has to be different. All right, what did you think of this list? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you make it all the way to the end of this? Then react to this video with saying just say that mum. Just say that 4 times. Mum. That is going to be amazing. If you do that, then I know that you watched the entire video, or just skip to the end. I don't know. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. Hope you liked what you've seen, and hope that you want to see more of this. I'm going to bed now because I have been talking for 3 hours and 23 minutes straight, and now my voice is sore. Yeah, thank you for watching. Like to see you next time. Like to see you next year with 2026 ranked. That video will be shorter because I hopefully will not have watched 300 films next year. I will try to keep it normal for a change. Alright, thank you for watching, and bye bye.